Quit your whimpering. Suit yourself. Mother...
Just...
Hey, everyone.
Good job.
Which Spider-Man had the best fights, Tobey, Andrew or Tom? Most people pick the wrong one and I'm going to prove it. Alright, so Spider-Man has been punching, swinging and web-slinging his way across movie screens since 2002. And across the Raimi trilogy, the Amazing Spider-Man duology and the MCU entries, we've gotten some genuinely incredible fight scenes and honestly some pretty forgettable ones too. So today we are ranking every single fight, move and battle from the Spider-Man films, from the worst to the absolute best. We are covering Spider-Man 2002 all the way through Homecoming, and I have some opinions that are going to make a lot of you very uncomfortable in the comments. Just to be clear, we are judging these fights on three things: creativity, choreography, and how well they actually show off what Spider-Man is supposed to be. Not just cool explosion energy, real Spider-Man energy. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Tyson here, welcome back. Ranking starting at the bottom, Peter Parker vs. Club Security.
Now.
Okay. Hey, go!
Look, I get what Spider-Man 3 was going for here, emo Peter, dark side, jazz club revenge scene. But this fight is barely a fight. Peter shoves a few bounces and acts smug. There's nothing Spider-Man about it. It's just a guy in a black suit being annoying. This whole sequence is the most embarrassing thing in the entire Spider-Man film catalog, and yes, I'm including the dance scene too. Moving on next, Peter Parker vs. Dennis Carradine the burglar. This one is low not because it's badly done, but because it's barely there.
See ya.
Peter corners the man who killed Uncle Ben, the guy trips and falls out a window, and that's it. The emotional weight is enormous, but as an actual fight, there's nothing to rank. It's more of a consequence than a confrontation. Peter Parker vs. Flash Thompson. This is technically the first fight in the entire Spider-Man film series, and it's a decent little moment. Newly powered Peter dodges Flash's punch and accidentally sends him flying into the lockers. It's funny, it establishes his new reflexes and it does its job. But it's one punch, one moment. It's an appetizer, not a meal. Peter Parker vs. Subway Thugs in The Amazing Spider-Man. This scene is actually really fun and criminally underrated.
Hey pal, just keep on walking. You're in the wrong place, buddy.
When was the last time you were in Queens? I asked you a question, man.
Vicky, no!
That's a gun. You gonna kill me too?
Ow! Hey, stop it!
Hey, get up!
Hey, up! I am crazy!
Peter hasn't fully become Spider-Man yet, but you can already see the instincts kicking in. He's bouncing around the subway car, being way too cocky, and honestly, it's the most accurate portrayal of a teenager discovering superpowers in the entire franchise. Chaotic, impulsive, and a little reckless. Andrew Garfield absolutely nails this energy, but because it's early Peter with zero suit and zero experience, it stays lower on the list. Spider-Man vs. Armed Robbers, the car chase in Spider-Man 2, a solid mid-tier fight. Spider-Man swinging alongside a moving car, pulling guys out through windows, keeping up with traffic. It's exactly the kind of urban superhero action that works in these films. Nothing too flashy but clean, efficient and believable. Sam Raimi knew how to keep action grounded even when it was completely ridiculous. Peter Parker vs Harry Osborn at the Osborn Mansion. This one hurts emotionally, which is exactly why it works. It's not about superpowers, it's two best friends destroying each other. Harry throws Peter through his own house, Peter fights back with everything he has, and there's real rage in every hit. For a non-powered brawl in a superhero film, it hits harder than most of the actual superpowered fights in Spider-Man 3. James Franco deserved better from that entire movie. Spider-Man vs Alexei Sitsevich in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This fight is pure joy. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man never felt more alive than in this exact sequence. Spider-Man vs Vulture's goons, the ferry and truck scene.
The illegal weapons barrier was at 2:30. You missed it.
Tom Holland Spider-Man trying and failing. To hold everything together is honestly more compelling than most clean superhero victories. The ferry scene in particular is genuinely tense. Peter is completely out of his depth, he makes the wrong call, and Tony has to come clean up the mess. Some people think this makes Spider-Man look weak. I think it makes him look human. And that is exactly what Spider-Man is supposed to be. Spider-Man vs Green Goblin at the burning building. This is where the Raimi trilogy started showing its teeth. The Goblin bombing civilians, Spider-Man choosing between Mary Jane and a cable car full of children, and then the people of New York helping him. The fight itself is brutal and scrappy. No choreographed elegance here, just Spider-Man getting absolutely beaten and refusing to stay down. Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker never looked more determined than in this sequence. Black suit Spider-Man vs Sandman in the subway. Controversial opinion incoming, this is the best scene in Spider-Man 3. I know, I said it. The black suit sequence underground is visually stunning. The brutality actually feels earned given where Peter's head is at, and the transformation in his fighting style is noticeable. He's not the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here. He's angry and that anger bleeds into every move. The tragedy is that Spider-Man 3 surrounds this genuinely great scene with so much nonsense that most people forget how good it actually is. Spider-Man vs Winter Soldier and Falcon in Civil War.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude. Oh, God. Hey, buddy, I think you lost this.
2 minutes of screen time and Tom Holland immediately became many people's favorite Spider-Man, snatching Cap's shield midair, webbing up Bucky's arm, rambling about Star Wars while dodging everything Sam Wilson throws at him. This is peak Spider-Man personality in a fight. The MCU understood something important here. Spider-Man talks too much during battles, and that is a feature, not a bug. Spider-Man vs. Bonesaw McGraw, the wrestling match, a classic. It established the tone of Raimi's entire trilogy in one sequence. Spider-Man as a showman, as a scrapper, as someone who wins through cleverness rather than brute force. The crowd chanting, the costume evolution, Bonesaw being absolutely unhinged, it's a perfect scene. And Randy Savage in a cage match with Spider-Man is something that will never not be incredible. Final battle, Spider-Man vs. Electro and Green Goblin.
Gwen Stacy!
The Electro battle in Times Square is the single most visually creative fight in all of the live-action Spider-Man films. The power grid sequence using sound frequencies against Electro, the almost musical choreography of the entire confrontation, it's spectacular. The Green Goblin portion hits emotionally in a way that still makes audiences furious to this day. This final battle had no right to be as good as it was, and the fact that this film is as divisive as it is remains one of cinema's great injustices. Spider-Man vs. Lizard at the high school, underrated. Completely underrated.
Not thinking straight, Doc. Stop this! This isn't you! Let's talk this out. Oh boy. All right, so you don't want to talk? There you go.
The combination of cramped hallways, lockers as weapons, Spider-Man using the school environment creatively, and the sheer unpredictability of the Lizard makes this one of the most energetic fight scenes in any Spider-Man film. It feels dangerous in a way that big CGI battles often don't, because the scale is small and personal. Spider-Man vs. Captain America.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
Look, kid, there's a lot going on here that you don't understand.
Stark said you'd say that. Wow. He also said to go for your legs. That you're wrong, you think you're right, that makes you dangerous.
Yes, it's short. No, that doesn't matter. This is Spider-Man going toe-to-toe with Steve Rogers and holding his own. The web trapping Cap's hands, catching the shield. The genuine admiration Peter has for Captain America even while fighting him. It's charming and exciting and technically impressive all at once. More importantly, it proved to the entire MCU that this kid belonged in that world. Spider-Man vs. Dr. Octopus at the bank heist.
Here's your change!
Alfred Molina arrived and immediately reminded everyone how terrifying a well-written villain can be. The bank fight is genuinely scary, Otto is ruthless, efficient, and those arms are horrifying in close quarters. Spider-Man gets thrown around like a ragdoll for most of it, and that's what makes it great. This isn't a fight Spider-Man wins looking cool, he barely survives, and you feel every single hit. Final battle, Spider-Man vs Green Goblin in Spider-Man 2002, The Rooftop, the brutality. Tobey Maguire getting his mask torn off and still refusing to quit. This final battle set the standard for superhero movie finales in 2002 and honestly holds up better than people give it credit for. The personal stakes, the rage, the tragedy of Norman Osborn emerging at the end. It's not just a fight scene, it's the emotional climax of the entire film. Spider-Man vs Green Goblin at Times Square. This is where everything clicked for the first time. Spider-Man truly announcing himself to New York, the scale, the chaos, the Goblin testing him publicly, and Spider-Man rising to it. For 2002, this sequence was extraordinary. It made audiences believe that Sam Raimi understood exactly what Spider-Man was supposed to feel like on a big screen. 20 years later, it still delivers. Final battle, Spider-Man vs Dr. Octopus at the dock. The train sequence leads directly into this and they are inseparable as a viewing experience. Peter unmasking himself to Otto, the conversation between them, the genuine tragedy of Otto Octavius reclaiming his humanity, and all of it earned through the most physically brutal fight in the Raimi trilogy. Spider-Man vs Doc Ock is the gold standard for superhero sequels. Everything about this arc, the fight included, is close to perfect. And at number 1, the clock tower and train battle in Spider-Man 2. This is the greatest fight sequence in Spider-Man film history, full stop. The clock tower brawl has weight, creativity, and genuine danger. And then it leads into the train sequence, where Spider-Man holds back an entire elevated train with nothing but his webs and sheer will. Arms spread wide, completely exposed, completely spent, and the people of New York catch him when he falls. This scene made grown adults cry in 2004. It still does. No other Spider-Man fight has ever combined action, emotion, and character this perfectly. Nothing else on this list comes close. And that's every Spider-Man fight ranked from worst to best. Now I know some of you are already typing furiously in the comments because I put the Amazing Spider-Man 2 final battle that high, and I stand by every word. The real question is, do you think the MCU Spider-Man fights will ever top the Doc Ock train sequence? Because I genuinely don't think they have yet. Let me know your own ranking in the comments, especially if you think I got something completely wrong, because honestly those are my favorite comments to read. See you in the next one.